St Kitts and Nevis have secured only one medal in their history of competing at the Commonwealth Games. It was gold and it came courtesy of Kim Collins in the Blue Ribbon event, the men's 100 meters at the 2002 edition in Manchester, England. Come Birmingham 2022, they'll be hoping to add to that tally. And in today's Commonwealth Build-Up feature, we learn more about St Kitts and Nevis as they welcomed the Queen's Baton earlier this year.
The Commonwealth Games has brought much success to thousands of athletes and their member countries. It is also one of the many activities that has brought much joy. For us here in St. Kitts and Nevis, it is a proud moment to equally acknowledge that our geographical size has not diminished the competitive value of our athletes.
The baton then has to make, as every baton makes when it comes to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a trip to Government House, where His Excellency will receive it officially and then send us on our way. You don a particular jersey, and once you put that jersey on, it signifies and symbolizes that you have reached that level that you are considered a baton bearer. And because of the technology in the baton, you are being seen around in the 72 countries around the world.
I now take pleasure in passing this baton to a legend, an icon, and an inspiration for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, Mr. Kim Collins.
Well, the baton is what connects everyone together. The great thing, because we in this federation, we get to see that great symbol that connects us as a people to the Commonwealth. The fact that the baton travels to so many different destinations, we're in the streets, we're in the schools, we're in different places, it really puts it out there to the public that, hey, this is the Commonwealth Games baton, this is what's going on, this is where it's going to be, and this is why you need to know about it.
The baton means a lot to us, specifically here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Having it come through is always a fun time, always a good time. A representation of the Queen is something that we really value and we treasure as sports people.
It also gives the people, the populace in the country, a chance to take pictures with the baton, which is full of technology. It has a camera in it. Immediately you take your picture, it is uploaded, so it is quite possible that the ordinary people in St. Kitts can have a picture here today and see themselves on YouTube. The baton actually came to us from Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. It will be here in St. Kitts and indeed in Nevis. So the baton is leaving St. Kitts in a few days and it is going to Anguilla.
Yeah, and the Commonwealth Games will be live on your home of champions from July 28 to August 8 from Birmingham in England. All right, to some horse racing now, because Gary Zabrati's chestnut filly Atomica was the howling favourite at 1-5 to win last Saturday's 96th running of the Jamaica St Ledger at Caymanas Park. But it turned out to be a bumpy ride for the classy filly, who in the end proved no match for the 75 second choice Blue Vinyl. The handsome chestnut, owned by businessman Michael T. Gale, trained by Patrick Wacky Lynch, groomed by Dave Bell, and professionally handled by rising young reinsman Radish Roman, stormed a victory in the 10 furlongs contest in the good time of 2 minutes 7 3/5 of a second. It was the first St. Ledger win for jockey, trainer, owner and groom. We're all now looking ahead to closing out the Triple Crown with a win in the Derby on August 6.
St. Ledger, 10 furlongs and they're off and running. Brinks comes away on the rail with Sunset Silhouette. Emperor of the Cats also got a good start. Blue Vinyl is now tacking across to take those leaders on as they thunder past us for the first time. The pacemaker is Brinks up front from Blue Vinyl and Emperor of the Cats. Atomica is tugging and Reserve right on their heels as they go into that clubhouse turn. Sunset Silhouette is well positioned on the rail, burning red in between horses. Outbidder races next as they leave the mile. Power is a further 3 lengths in behind Outbidder. The head cornerstone runs next against the rail in the purple sleeves. The grey reins will come next. Morimoto just in behind by a length. Slam toward the back of the field. Roraima has overtaken Slam, and Slam now trails. They make their way toward the final 6 furlongs in the event, and Atomica has now tugged through, disputes that lead and gets it narrowly. Brinks continues to bounce easy in second. Blue Vinyl has them covered just about 4 lengths off that lead. Emperor of the Cats is a further 2 lengths down, Burning Red right on his tail. Outbidder now being niggled along a bit as they leave the 5. Sunset Silhouette is further back with the head cornerstone. Power races up toward the back of the field. Rainsville races up next, then Morimoto. In behind them, Roraima and Slam outclassed at the back as the tempo increases in the Ledger, and they make their way toward the 7/16th, and the filly Atomica now goes on. Here is the match race evolving. Blue Vinyl pulling alongside, and these two shoulder to shoulder as they leave the 3. In behind them, Briggs now looks to be feeling the heat, but the match race is on. Inside the final 5/16th, they're about to come into the lane. In the St Ledger, Atomica the filly. In the center, Blue Vinyl on the outside, and Briggs tries to fight back over against the rail. Atomica swerves to the fence. Blue Vinyl has the lead. Atomica trying to come on once again. Brinks is in behind them, but Blue Vinyl is driven to the max and holding the lead. Atomica, can she fight back? It is Blue Vinyl in the Ledger, opening up 2 lengths. Atomica the filly. First time she's been tested, and she's failed the test as Blue Vinyl comes away to score on the Radish Room, and Atomica has to settle for second. Brinks is third. Fourth, the head cornerstone, Morimoto, has run on to be 5th.
Yeah, so thrilling horse racing at Caymanas Park on Saturday, Leighton. The St. Ledger drawing the crowd to Caymanas Park. They came to see the super filly Atomica tackle the very, very impressive colt Blue Vinyl. They got a treat in the end, and those who backed Blue Vinyl, well, you could hear them screaming even before the race was over.
Yep, absolutely. But tell me, George, I mean, you're more the expert at horse racing than I am. Was it a bad timing on the part of the jockey to get Atomica in the lead that early, or was it just outrun by a better horse?
Very good question. If we could get my producer the head-on of the gates, because we're not making excuses for Atomica, but we're analyzing what went wrong. Coming out the gates, there was a situation in the head-on shot where she got bumped coming out of the gates. Now, you can just imagine 1,500 meter or 3,000 meter. Well, let's do 1,500 meters. Right. So she got bumped twice coming out of the gates. If you look at her, she's in number 5, and you saw her get knocked 2 sides there. Then when she was trying, look at her. Just keep your eyes on her. She's what you call in horse racing terms lit up. She isn't settled. Blue Vinyl is settled. She's trying to get position here, and then approaching the clubhouse turn. She's trying to come between Emperor of the Cats and Blue Vinyl. There's not much space there, and she has to almost chop her strides to really get a good position. So that early part of the race affected her. But let's put it on the table. Atomica is a classy filly. Clearly the best filly in the land, and from what we saw on Saturday, the second best 3-year-old, native bred or otherwise, in the country. Based on how she ran on Saturday, her connections can't be unhappy with her because she really put up a strong fight. It's not as if she flopped and she was beaten. She ran, but she just found a horse stronger than her, way stronger than her over the distance. 10 furlongs is not her best distance based on how she performed here. And despite the impediments that she ran into early in the race, she ran her heart out, but 10 furlongs was asking her to go too far, especially with her strong running style. And then she ran into a colt who was just immaculately presented by the trainer, very well ridden by the jockey, and who is going 2 turns a better horse.
Yeah, but here's my question. You raise a very good point there, because it's a very strong point in my mind as a track and field man. That unsettling first half a furlong, how much energy would that have sapped from her?
Excellent question again. The human athlete runs fast by moving his or her legs faster. And you breathe, your breathing pattern, well, depends on how you train. So you can train, for instance, I heard people saying that Shelley Ann Fraser-Price, when she did 10.67 in Paris the other day, she didn't take a breath in the entire race. She just got up and ran. So you train that way. Other people train to take maybe 1 breath in that 100 meters. So you can train as a human being to take breaths given your event. You can't do that with racehorses. Racehorses breathe every time they stride. Yeah? And they run faster. Obviously, they can't move their legs faster to run faster. the racehorses run faster by stretching. So it may be a gallop like this early, but when it's a gallop like this,
a longer gait.
that's how you go faster. So a racehorse breathes every time it strides. Now imagine all of the horses running, everybody into their normal stride, breathing right, and she has to be chopping her stride. So her breathing is affected and she's being bumped around. Now, based on how the race panned out, if she had a trouble-free start and she was able to run to her clear path, she still would have been beaten. There's no doubt in my mind she would have been beaten.
Okay.
But she could have gone closer, and the race would have been more comfortable for her. But there is no doubt that on Saturday, she ran into a horse, going 2 turns was a better horse than her, and maybe at a mile is also better than her, but take nothing from her. She ran a brilliant race, and it's just unfortunate that she had those bumps in the earlies, and maybe it took a little bit out of her performance. But even if she had a trouble-free run, she still would have been beaten. She's a credit to her owner, Don Webby, Oak Ridge Farm, immaculately presented by Gary Sobrati, one of the most brilliant trainers at the track. So credit to them. But the winner, Patrick Lynch, 2 derbies, has the Guineas, St Ledger, fantastic trainer. The jockey, this time last year, the jockey was thinking about removing pins from his shoulder, from his second surgery, where he had fallen and had suffered a horrific injury, needed 2 surgeries to correct. A year later, he's a classic winning jockey. The young man, about 23 years old, Radish Roman, all power to him.
Good race, though. I mean, I enjoyed it. And, of course, look, in my mind, if Secretariat can lose, anybody can lose.
There you go. Oh, there's a certain man in the shot. There you go. Yeah, I'm taking a picture there, Leighton. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. All right, we take a break. Oh, before we go, Mr. Director, I just want to say send condolences, rather, on behalf of the SportsMax family to the champion trainer, Anthony Baba Nunes. We heard that he lost his mom, Mrs. Hillis Nunes, on Sunday. And so we are sending good wishes to the Nunes family now as they mourn the passing of the matriarch of the family, Mrs. Hillis Nunes, a committed horse racing woman and a woman who gave a lot to the sport, not least her sons. And she, of course, was the wife of a former champion trainer, Nigel B. Nunes. And she has left the family at this stage. And we wish the family, including Andrew, who trains and lives in Barbados, and Anthony, the 2-time defending champion trainer here, all the very best in this time.
Thank you for watching SportsMax on YouTube. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay informed.